Hello, English 10 students. This is Miss Binta Calhoun. This week, beginning September 28th, obviously we had Monday off, we will be taking a look at the extended metaphor. I'd like to take a few moments in this video to explain the extended metaphor, provide you with an example, and then set up the conversation that I hope for us to have virtually during our class time. An extended metaphor is very much like a metaphor. I would like to remind you that the definition of a metaphor is the comparison of two unlike things without using like or as for the purpose of creating a meaningful connection and message. An extended metaphor is the exact same thing, except to add to that definition, it goes on over a series of lines. An extended metaphor is merely an author or poet's attempt to take a topic, compare it to a person, an experience, an emotion, or an object over multiple lines, be it in poetry, prose, or acrostic poetry. This week, we will be building our own extended metaphor, and you will be asked to come up with an idea or an emotion or an aspect of your personality or some of your favorite qualities or even your identity and compare it to an object, an emotion, an experience, a form of nature, anything that you think is a good fit for a comparison. Now, this is why I'm making the video, because when you go to make your comparison, I want you to start drawing out some of the qualities of yourself, and I want you to draw out the qualities of this other object that you're going to compare it to. In order for it to be an effective extended metaphor, you want to make sure that you and the object are similar in many ways, not just one. To illustrate this, I'd like to recite to you Robert Frost's poem, Nothing Gold Can Stay, and discuss with you why the poem is an extended metaphor and initiate with you some thinking about what the poet could actually be comparing. Robert Frost is an American poet, and he is famous for many poems. This poem, however, Nothing Gold Can Stay, is one of my personal favorites. Nothing Gold Can Stay by Robert Frost. Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. Then early leaves a flower, but only so an hour. And leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sinks to grief. And dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay. It is a common practice to recite a poem more than once so that the audience can understand it. So I'm going to go ahead and recite the poem a second time. As I recite the poem this time, I want you to look at or think about the various things that the poet is saying about each of the seasons that are being presented. And that is a tip and a hint that I'm giving to you. Nothing Gold Can Stay by Robert Frost. Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. Then early leaves a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, and Eden sinks to grief. And dawn goes down to day. Nothing gold can stay. Think about what it is that Robert Frost is bringing to our attention by illustrating the four seasons. How does he describe each season? What qualities and characteristics are presented? Then I want you to think, what else is like the image of these seasons that Robert Frost has presented to us? When we're analyzing and looking at an extended metaphor, it's larger than a regular metaphor in that we're not just looking at a single object. Okay, this is one thing and this is another thing, and I'm comparing these two things. No, when we look at an extended metaphor, we look over a course of several lines to the multiple comparisons that are being made and ask ourselves the question, what is the individual comparison being made? And then the critical question, which is, what is the overall, overarching comparison that's being made? More importantly, how does this express a universal message about life? What is the meaning of comparing this object and this other object, or this person and this object, or this animal and this object over multiple lines? What can audiences take away from those repeated metaphors? So let's think again about Robert Frost's intention. We're going to speak about it, and then we'll come back together as a group and decide what is it that we need to do in order to really effectively create an extended metaphor. That's all for now. I'll see you soon.